Hey guys, welcome back. So just wanted to start off by introducing this video as a sort of primer for a series I'll be doing moving forward for a while. And that series is on Nakshatras, and specifically how to use Nakshatras through Vedic astrology for practical magic. And I thought a good place to start would be with what I mean when I say magic. What's my definition of magic, if I'm going to throw that word around? So in my mind, magic is no different than applied subatomic particle physics, which teaches us that everything that makes up our reality starts out as a wave of infinite potential. And the only thing that distinguishes that wave, the only thing that differentiates that wave into a particle that makes up a table, for instance, is the addition of our will, our mind, the observer. That's basically saying we create our reality. We shape subatomic particles. Otherwise, everything is just a wave of light or sound, depending on how you think about it. With that, what is a nakshatra and what does it have to do with any of this? Now, Vedic astrology is a lunar-based system, whereas mainstream Western astrology is a solar-based system. That's why Western astrology tends to put more emphasis on the sun sign, and Vedic astrology tends to put more emphasis on the moon sign. And I think it's because, in the case of Vedic astrology, that the moon is valued as a more accurate representation of a person's true nature. The moon is the mind, it's the internal world, it's the emotions, it's the mother. The sun is the ego, the personality, the father, the government. So that's just an important distinction to make in general about Vedic astrology, and also a great introduction to the Nakshatras. Nakshatras divide the 12 signs of the zodiac down into smaller units of about 13 to 14 degrees each, like a wheel within a wheel. And these smaller divisions help us better define the nature of a planet when in a certain position, in a certain nakshatra. This lets us come away from the broader archetypes of each zodiac sign and adds an additional level or framework for a deeper analysis. Let's look at Taurus as an example. There are 2 to 3 nakshatras per zodiac sign, and in Taurus there are 3. Those are Kritika, Rohini, and Mrigasira. You can see that the outer 2 nakshatras bleed into the neighboring signs. Let's say that your natal moon falls within 9 degrees Taurus. Now 9 degrees Taurus falls within the nakshatra Kritika specifically. Like each zodiac sign, each nakshatra has its own planetary ruler. Taurus's ruler is Venus, but Kritika's ruler is the sun. So before going any deeper, we already know that your moon has the influence of Venus and the sun upon it. So each nakshatra's planetary ruler goes a long way to helping us understand that nakshatra's specific character. You can kind of think of them all as archetypes within archetypes. But each nakshatra is associated with a dense mythology. And from that mythology, we pull all sorts of symbols, qualities, elements, powers that the nakshatra gives, auspicious and inauspicious activities. Let's take a look at Kritika Nakshatra and some of its associations. This is only just skimming the surface, but you can already start to see how the auspicious activities are really just intuitive applications of the nakshatra's characteristics when integrated, like fire plus sharp objects equals cooking. So hopefully this is intriguing you more than making your head hurt, but there is one more layer of depth to the nakshatra wheel that I'd love to go into. Each nakshatra is then further divided into smaller sections, creating another internal wheel that gives us yet another level of specificity in terms of understanding the moon in this case. You can see that this wheel uses color coding to categorize the padas based on real-world strengths. These smaller units are called padas, and there are 4 of them per nakshatra. Back to our example. So 9 degrees Taurus falls within the 4th pada of Kritika, which happens to be associated with Pisces. And so this pada is under Jupiter's influence because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. Knowing that the moon is in the 4th pada tells us that this moon's Kritika nature has a Jupiterian bent, which would orient this person's mind toward the more spiritual, creative, beneficial aspects of Kritika's fiery qualities. So I'm sure you can already start to see how valuable this information is for your understanding of your own birth chart, your own true nature, but it can also be great for helping you plan your day because every hour of every day is going to be under the influence of one of the nakshatra's padas. And this can help you, capitalize on the powers available under any given nakshatra. And once you understand the energetic imprint of a day and you understand your own energetic imprint through your birth chart, then you really have the tools necessary to do some serious magic, to seriously affect your environment through your will, because your knowledge has caught up to your will. It's like you have to learn a new language, a language of the spheres, because the spheres are creating reality with you. It's like you're already doing magic. You just need to figure out how you're doing it so that you could do it on purpose, more on purpose, if that makes any sense. Okay, I would highly suggest downloading the Cosmic Insights app. It's a free app, and it's created by an incredible team of Vedic astrologers, many of which I consider my mentors. You can find their stuff online. But this app has tons of information about your personal chart, your own personal nakshatras, and then we'll also characterize the nakshatra of the day for you briefly. An easy way to get started is with a journal. Just take a little time at the end of every day to do an entry, write down the nakshatra that was running that day. Sometimes it'll be 2 different nakshatras. They'll switch during daylight hours. Note that down. And then some general notes like your morale, where the majority of your mental energy was focused, and how was your body feeling, what was your physical state. And then use your intuition to look back through the day for the little things that come to mind, like maybe an interaction with a stranger or an animal crosses your path. Things that don't seem like they're of much consequence in isolation, but you may see that they're part of a much more significant data set after some time passes. Then after a few nakshatra cycles, which takes a few months, look back through your journal entries and see if any patterns have started to form when certain nakshatras come around. For instance, I saw that I was getting this random acute pain over my left shoulder blade that felt like a pinched nerve every time Vishaka came around, and I probably wouldn't have even remembered that it was recurring, honestly, if I hadn't put it down in my journal. And so automatically I start unpacking this little pain because, you know, it is occurring in a pattern. What do I know about Vishaka? Well, Vishaka is in both Libra and Scorpio. It's a cusp nakshatra. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the planet I have in Vishaka. So Mars on Mars action right away says inflammation to me. So I'm more prone to inflammation on these particular days ruled by Vishaka. And then the unpacking continues given the many different associations for Vishaka to help me find a root cause for this particular pain, which is always your body telling you something valuable. Then once you have enough data collected, you can really start to see how the nakshatras work through your own specific instrument to create your reality, to create the moments in your day. And that gives you more control. That data, that knowledge gives you more control over every moment in your day. Obviously, we only took a look at the tip of the iceberg as far as Kritika's nakshatras today. But the subsequent videos I want to use to dive into each of these nakshatras and really bring their characters to life. Tell you a little bit about what I found in my research and also my experience on those particular nakshatra days, how they manifested in my life. And we can kind of turn it into a discussion. We'll see where it leads. But yeah, each video will be much shorter than this one, and they'll go into detail about one of the nakshatras coming up. If you'd like a foundational understanding of the nakshatras in your birth chart, of which the moon is probably the most influential, please feel free to email me or DM me at electricfortunes@gmail or on my IG account. And yeah, let me know what you want to know of your chart, and we'll put together a reading that works for you. It's truly invaluable information. I think that's all for today. Thanks again for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. And like or subscribe if you find this at all helpful. And I will see you in the next couple days for my first nakshatra video. Namaste.